Just wanted to pop in today to talk a little bit about the post I made yesterday in intuitive nutrition and how that plays in and listening to ourselves. So I see it so much, and I've been guilty of it myself, and I'm in lieu of, I think that's the right word, being more authentic in my own journey still, because even as a coach or nutritionist, we never know it all. We're not perfect. I haven't completed my journey of wellness because I'm not dead yet. It's a constant journey. Even if you're eating what's considered perfect, every day is a new day with new opportunities and new potential and new possible challenges that come up. So the journey's never over. It's always happening. Every new day is a new opportunity. So we have certain timelines of coaching, like you say, like a 3 or 6 month coaching program, or when it comes to like regenerative detox, it's much longer, really years of stripping the body down and working into some fasting and to allow regeneration of the system and to rebuild. It's years of the process. This isn't something of like, oh, 3 months, I'm going to change my nutrition and then I'm good. And it's over. It's not. It's never over. So you're always going to come upon new challenges and struggles along the way. So it's important to talk through those, especially as a coach, nutritionist, myself, to let people know that in my role, the main thing I offer you is that I've been there. I'm currently experiencing this journey myself, and that I'll always hold space and compassion for where you're at. This isn't, when I work with somebody, it's not, you're not going to get a schedule of meals and when to eat and caloric restrictions, macronutrient restrictions, micromanagement of your food, because that's not the real journey. That's not the goal. The end goal is not caloric restrictions and weight loss. If that's your goal, if your goal is weight loss specifically and following the numbers, then I'm not the coach for you. But if your goal is truly stripping down your nutrition to allow a full cleansing of your body, to get into the root cause of issues that you're experiencing, and then approach nutrition at a more intuitive level, whole food based, and eating in order to listen to your body of what is affecting your body negatively and what benefits it is nourishing your body. Because that's where the true transformation comes. And that's what I wanted to talk to today. As I posted yesterday about what I ate. Because my page is, of course, the Holistic Frugivore, so I post lots of fruit, healing, plant-based posts of what I eat. But I also think it's important to share when I'm not eating great and allowing me to share my personal experience with puppies here. This is Bailey. Say hi, Bailey. And how I am still learning from that, the addictive behaviors that I have, and I'm still working through. Bailey, I know. Oh yeah, she literally gives me hugs. It's so funny. Can you sit with me? You sit here. Yeah. So my post yesterday was about what I ate. So in the morning I had like a fruit bowl. I think it was banana and kiwi. That was my snack. I didn't eat anything in the morning, just juice and water. I think I had juice. And then a salad at lunch, and then like a fruit bowl in the afternoon. And then after that, see, I taught yoga last night. So usually once I leave the house, that's when things get a little more difficult. Because I have a bit of a drive, or I get used to taking my kids places and they get kind of your mom treats. Any moms out there know exactly what I mean. And usually the kids ask for stuff too. So caribou lattes, and which I get them vegan, so they're coconut milk, or well, not totally vegan because I don't think caramel I think has dairy in it. I should know that. I'm pretty sure it does. Or like a condensed milk, I think is in it. Anyways, I get a caramel latte with coconut milk. Not that that matters. But French fries, and it's not always McDonald's. It's literally any fast food place will get French fries at, because I don't get us anything else from fast food places. My kids haven't had anything else other than French fries. And Sawyer has had some vegan burgers from the Burger King one and the Hardee's one. But I think that's about it. And then Austin likes Subway. So they have very minimal fast food. And that's something I've been very diligent about, because I think that's one of the most impactful things to the body and they haven't had soda, or they have minimal exposure to soda, as I think that is one of soda and fast food are some of the most toxic things we can have. So really greatly limiting those, or making sure that they're not in your diet, is crucial. So anyways, I had French fries and caribou in the afternoon, and then I taught yoga at 6. And after that, of course, I'm heading home. It's getting dark, and I'm hungry, and I don't really feel like making anything else. And fruit isn't, usually I don't have an issue going home and just cutting up a mango, or like those fruit bowls don't take a ton of time to make. It's really not. And watermelon is an easy one too. Just cutting a watermelon in half and eat it. Normally it's not a big deal, because there's really not much prep involved when eating fruit-based, which is the nice thing. Or apples is a common thing I take on trips too. Apples, bananas, and oranges we often bring on our trips. So we do all of that stuff, but for some reason, it's that addictive, habitual behavior that you get of like, I'm running home, let's grab some food. So I go into the grocery store to get, what did I need to get? There was something specific, watermelon. Because they just started carrying the larger watermelons in our local store. They're like $8, so they're expensive still. But, of course, that's a half a watermelon. Of the larger watermelons, that's a meal for me. Any fruit-based eater will tell you that. And my oldest son does the same. We can take one whole watermelon, and I cut it in half, and I'll have one half, and he'll have the other. And that'll be a meal for either of us. So that's an easy way of eating as well. So I grabbed my watermelon. For something in your brain being in a store like that, I felt like pizza. And there's no healthy pizza option that's frozen. There's just not. So I ended up picking one that was on sale, and that's what I had for dinner getting home. So of course it's not vegan. There's dairy in it. There's cheese on it. It was a veggie. So peppers, onions, whatever. And instantly makes me feel like shit. So I felt it last night right away, and I knew it. And I knew eating it. So again, that feeds into two things. That conscious nutrition and intuitive, where I consciously decided that I was going to grab that, and just, it is what it is, and I'm not going to be down on myself about it. It's a choice I made. No one made me do it. I made that decision myself. And after I'm feeling the effects of it on my body. So there's lessons to be learned there. And that's one of the biggest lessons I'm learning is I have a good amount of addictive behavior that I'm trying to work through and heal. And these are examples of that showing up in my life. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that we have to be very conscious of how you approach nutrition, because it can get to a very dangerous place as well when you get so hard on yourself if you don't do it perfectly. If you feel, if you're restricting food so much to where you're not eating, or if you're binge eating, or if you end up in a bulimic place where you feel like shit after eating and you decide to throw it up all the time, it gets very dangerous. So you have to be very aware of the choices you're making and why you're making them. So it isn't as simple as just restricting and what's the word I'm thinking of? Not limiting yourself, but not allowing yourself to enjoy some of these foods that you've enjoyed in your whole life. So I'm 34 and I've lived most of my life up until a few years ago, I would say, because I was a personal trainer before I got with my first son. So like 8 or 9 years ago, I was working as a personal trainer for a while before I had my first child. So I've been in the nutrition area for a long time, and I did coaching then of what was considered healthy then, which now I'm seeing wasn't healthy at all for the most part, or not truly ideal for the body. And not allowing our mental and psychological health to suffer because of some of these food choices we make. A lot of them are habits. Like nothing about French fries, caribou, and pizza are something that none of that stuff my body needs nutritionally. Not one thing in any of that is my body desiring those foods, because I hear that often of like, I really listen to my body and sometimes it wants French fries. That's not your body telling you that you want French fries. That's your mind telling you that that's a craving that you want to feed. And that's where the parasite thing comes into it. I posted yesterday with the French fries and caribou is the parasites. Those are parasites talking, which link very closely to the cravings and the habitual behaviors. And until we really get into the healing of the body and get rid of those parasites, you won't really be able to get into the emotional and psychological and cravings that you keep feeding your body. That's why I say it's a very deep process. It's extensive, and you have to be committed to the process. And as someone who coaches you in a nutritionist position, it's not me who's doing anything for you. I'm your guidance and your support and giving you what you need to know and a guidance and support along the way. But you're the one who makes the decisions. You're the one who is conscious and the one who's feeling the effects on your body. That's where we see the colon congestion. I can tell you, even today, this morning, that's why I wanted to make this video. I didn't eat, of course, last night. Pizza was the last thing I had. Stomach felt like crap, and I go to bed. And even today, I wake up, I feel the heaviness in my stomach and my intestines, and that we can link so closely to the congestion of the colon and intestines that begin the constipation of your digestive tract, which in turn begins to feed parasites and the breakdown of your system, the backing up of the kidneys and the liver, because those get overloaded very easily when you're eating lots of meat products and heavy grains and dairy products that your body struggles to really digest. That's why I say fruits are the simplest for your body to digest and absorb, because they are. It's the simplest for the body to break down and absorb. And you have heavier foods that have a lot longer span of digestion time, and it puts a lot of stress on the kidneys. So if you keep adding foods that are heavy throughout your day, you have a heavy breakfast of eggs and bacon, and you have a sandwich at lunch, say there's meat in all of this, and a dinner of meat and potatoes or whatever, spaghetti, whatever it is. You're adding the congestion on top of congestion. And think about what you're doing when you do that day after day after day. And if you aren't pooping, at least, well, you should be going as often as you eat. And I don't think I posted that, but I'm going to post that later today. I have a post about how often you should be going to the bathroom. And if you're not going multiple times a day, you're not eliminating the waste that you're taking in. And that is beginning to build up the congestion and the toxicity of your body. And that's where disease begins to build. So it starts subtle. We usually ignore the subtle signs. And then it gets severe, where we see things like your IBS, your Crohn's, your acid reflux type symptoms. And I would even say that's a little bit more of a subtle early sign as well as acid. That's a very early-ish sign of the acidity in your stomach or lack of acidity, body's inability to really break down the food that you're eating, and that begins to break down the walls of your intestines. So it's a long process to which the body begins to degenerate. So it's going to be just as long, if not longer, of a process to allow yourself to cleanse your body and be able to regenerate. So, sharing my juice, and this is literally all I'm going to have today, juice and water, because I know my body needs that break. And even adding one fasting day really every week would be great. If you can just have one day, at least most of the day, just have juice and water in most of the day and eat dinner. Allow that time for your body to rest and not worry about trying to break down food, and be able to cleanse it out and eliminate it. So, I'm going to end by saying, if you want to do a free discovery call with me and just kind of get an idea of where you're at and what the process would be of shifting your diet and allow the healing process to happen, please message me. I would love to talk to you. And I hope you got some good information from this. And I'm going to strive to be more authentic in what I'm sharing and sharing my struggles as well. It's always more vulnerable, especially as your coach. You have those self-expectations of being this example of how to be, but we're all human and we're all experiencing the same similar struggles, especially nutritionally in a time of very toxic food. So with that, I'm going to say have a great Monday, and I'll see you next time.